But overall, let's transition to our next prospect here in Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. Like Dijon mustard. Cooper DeJean. Shout out to him. It's so interesting, right? Cooper DeJean was projected to be a first-round pick. He had first-round talent. I don't think that was a debate. But as you saw throughout the NFL draft, he wasn't the only player that had first-round talent or that was projected to be a first-round pick. He wasn't the only one that fell in that draft. I think the DT, Jersey Newton or Johnny Newton, he fell into the second round. So what I'm trying to tell you is don't let him falling out of the first round shake or make or break you, or don't let it shake you. For the first time in NFL history, the first 14 picks in the NFL draft were offensive players. They either were quarterbacks, wide receivers, or offensive linemen. That's where the league is going. It's a passing league. Teams are investing their highest draft picks on the top tier talent at quarterback, receiver, and O-line. And then they're going to draft their defensive guys on the back end. This was the most clear-cut draft that we've seen that. And I think this is a trend that's going to maintain itself. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes beyond 14 picks in next year's draft, depending on the offensive draft class, obviously, unless there's a transcendent player on defense. But I honestly think where the NFL is going, this isn't going to be the first time we see the first 10 or first 14 or maybe the first 15 or 16 picks be offensive players. But it will all be dependent if there's a transcendent player on defense. If you're not transcendent or they don't believe you to be transcendent, or if there's a player that they feel like is up to par with you or maybe a little less, but he's on offense, they're going to pull the trigger on the offensive guy. Again, you have to be transcendent at this point to be drafted high on defense. And this draft class showed you that. But Cooper DeJean fell out of the first round, and I think it was mainly because of the way the board fell with teams focusing on offense. Nonetheless, he fell in the second round, and the Philadelphia Eagles traded up and got their man. They moved some picks around. They traded up and traded back with the Washington Commanders so they can trade up to the 40th overall pick, and they got Cooper DeJean. So the Philadelphia Eagles found a way to leave the first 2 days of the draft. They found a way to leave draft weekend with two of the top cornerback or DB prospects in this draft class. They found a way to leave with Quinyon Mitchell. They found a way to leave with Cooper DeJean in the same draft class. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't know how the NFL let that happen. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Quinyon Mitchell was on many draft boards. The bulk of draft boards, he was the number one cornerback prospect, despite playing at Toledo, despite playing in the MAC conference. Cooper DeJean, he was a top 3 DB prospect, a top 3 cornerback prospect, rather. You put him in that same group with Quinyon Mitchell, Terrion Arnold, then Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Nate Higgins. So I think the top 2 prospects de facto were Quinyon Mitchell and Terrion Arnold, and everybody else was kind of floating in that 3, 4, 5 range. But a lot of people felt like Cooper DeJean was the best DB or the best corner. Some people felt like he was second. Some people felt like he was third. Some people felt like he was fourth or fifth. But the bottom line is the Philadelphia Eagles found a way to leave the draft with 2 of the top 5 cornerback prospects in the draft. And all 5 of them had potential to go first round. So when you think about Cooper DeJean and what he brings to the table, because if you ask me, when I look at him with the physical traits, the size, the way he moves, I see a safety to me, or a hybrid guy, a guy that's going to bounce back and forth between that safety spot, that nickel spot. I think Cooper DeJean is a weapon on defense. I think Cooper DeJean is a player that you just tell him, hey, I need you here, 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 here. Him, her, him, her, him, her. Shout out to my man Franklin of Snowfall. But I think Cooper DeJean is a player you could just use him all over the board. It's I don't see how the league allowed the Eagles to leave a defensive weapon like that. I think Vic Fangio is going to have a field day with a player like that. You're going to see Cooper DeJean being moved around like what's the corner in Kansas City? What's the corner in KC that they move around a lot? Trent McDuffie. You're going to see Cooper DeJean being moved around like a Trent McDuffie. Spags uses Trent McDuffie like a weapon. You don't just see Trent McDuffie playing outside corner. Sometimes you see him in the slot. Sometimes you see him close to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they use him in blitz packages. They use Trent McDuffie all over the field because he's that dude in that defense. I think Cooper DeJean can be that player for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, here's the difference between the two players. Trent McDuffie's a smaller guy, but Cooper DeJean over 6 feet, or he's 6 feet flat. 203 pounds. Trent McDuffie, on the other hand, 5'10", 193 pounds. So you give me Cooper DeJean, a guy who has 10 more pounds on Trent McDuffie, has a few more inches as far as height on Trent McDuffie, just a physical specimen. What do you think he's going to do? And he has the same speed, if not better, the same level of athleticism, if not better. So Trent McDuffie, by all counts, can be the most dynamic player on the Philadelphia Eagles defense because of his versatility, because of his unique physical traits. But I don't think he's your standard outside corner. I don't believe that about Cooper DeJean. And I'm not saying that as a slight to him. I feel like he's so much more dynamic. I don't want him just playing outside. I want him anywhere the ball is. I want to be able to manipulate the quarterback's eyes. I don't want the quarterback to know where he is. I want the quarterback to feel lost. Cooper DeJean's over there. Oh, he's over there. He's over there. What's that in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Oh, it's Cooper DeJean. And then he's playing next to CJ, a guy that plays with the edge, a guy that plays with the ski mask mentality. The Eagles DB room just got a boost. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay. The DB room just got injected with the super soldier serum. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They just hit the Eagles defense with gamma rays. Chevy, help me understand. You tell me I want so much. Make it make sense, player. We're going to get to these live chats, by the way. But Chevy Blake, make it make sense for me, sis. Make it make sense. You say I want so much. Explain that. You got to explain that. You can't just speak and not explain. We hold people accountable over here. You're not new. You're not new. Yeah, he's 6 feet. Okay. Trent McDuffie is 5'10", 193. Cooper DeJean, 6 feet. 203 pounds. That's a 10-pound difference. That's a 10-pound. Hey, listen, you feel a 10-pound difference. I see your picture. You're gonna feel a 10-pound difference if you add it on. Because Chevy, you look right. But if you add 10 pounds, you're gonna feel it. I know you are. If y'all don't know, Chevy's a woman, by the way. If y'all don't know, Chevy's a woman. You'll never catch me slipping. Woo-wee! Breed Blankenship. Move over. Move over. It's a new white chocolate in town. Move over. So yeah, I think Cooper DeJean is going to have a really, really interesting rookie season. I could really see Vic Fangio using him in a lot of different ways because of the versatility, but I don't think he's your standard outside corner. I think he can do a lot more than that. And I don't think they should limit him to just being an outside corner.